I get this question all the time, so let's quickly go over the different types of flour. There's usually about 4. Self-rising, wheat, all-purpose, and bread. Those are the ones you're usually going to see with all of your baking and delicious food making. Let's start with wheat flour. It is made of wheat. It has more fiber than any of the other flour types that I mentioned, which means that it's usually considered healthier for you because it has the extra fiber and a little bit more protein. In terms of what best to use it for, sourdough bread. And one thing that you're always going to see talked about when you're baking, especially if you're baking bread, is the protein level. The protein level for whole wheat is 13 to 14%. The next one is all-purpose flour. As it says in the name, it's good for pretty much anything. Also made of wheat. Usually you'll see it in bleached or unbleached. That really only tells you if it's bleached, it's a little bit finer texture. If it's unbleached, less fine, same thing. It's best for pretty much anything, like your Swiss Army knife of flour, baking or cooking related. So this is what you would use to make gravy. Protein level for this is 10 to 12%. So if you're looking at a recipe that asks for bread flour, but you only have all-purpose, you can totally use all-purpose. You're just gonna have to knead it a little bit longer. Then there's self-rising flour. It's also made of wheat. It is actually just all-purpose flour, but they've added baking powder and salt. Per 1 cup of self-rising flour, there should be about half a teaspoon of baking powder and a 1/4 teaspoon salt. So that's why when a lot of times I get questions around, can I just substitute self-rising flour for like a yeast recipe? The answer is no, because you have other ingredients in there that would kind of change the outcome. What this is good for, biscuits is a great option for self-rising flour. In terms of the protein level, 12 to 13%. Then there's our friend bread flour, which is also made of wheat, but has the highest protein content at 12 to 16%, and that is your go-to for making super delicious bread. You can substitute all-purpose for bread, but not bread for all-purpose. In terms of brands of flour, everybody's got their favorite. I really like King Arthur, but Bob's is up there on the upper right-hand corner. I love his flour as well. This is Bob's, particularly because they've got amazing gluten-free options for any of you celiacs out there. And shout out to Bluebird flour. Don't worry, no one's sponsoring me for this. I'm just sharing this because this is what I learned and I want other people to be able to make delicious food. Bluebird is great. Had that recommended for making fry bread and it was amazeballs. There's your starter kit on the 4 types of flour. If you're getting started in the baking and cooking world, I highly recommend all-purpose. It's literally good for pretty much everything. If you're getting into like healthier food, you might enjoy wheat flour. If you really love yourself some biscuits and want to get stuff quick and just like add buttermilk, self-rising is a great option. And if you really want to get into breads and you're feeling like you want to get that delicious chewy texture, bread flour is your friend. Let me know if you have any other questions. I'm happy to answer them. Good luck and happy baking and cooking.